Hey, what's good, y'all? This your brother Robert Jenkins coming to you with the special time of day that I know y'all all been waiting for. Y'all know what time it is, right? It is time to focus, LBK. Yeah, really is time to focus. I'm focused on that weather outside. Today, as I'm recording this is episode 44 of the Focus LBK podcast. And today, as I'm taping this, man, it went from beautiful skies, bluebird skies outside to about to look like it's about to be a tornado. You know what I'm saying? And it did so quickly. That's the nature of the beast here in West Texas, I guess. Anyway, we really happy to come to y'all this week. And this is, like I said, episode 44 of the Focus LBK show. And we're putting this out for the week beginning July 8, 2024. And man, the title or the flow we're going to get into today is the importance of mindset and perspective, dealing with reality and not succumbing to things, not making your external reality something else because of allegiance. You have allegiance to some party, some political party, some religious denomination, some group or organization of another. Don't conform your view to their doctrine or their narrative, because that precludes and prevents you from seeing reality. Anyway, we're going to get into that a little bit later, because y'all know the very first thing we like to go into is what's going on. We're going to tell y'all exactly what's going on. The first thing that's going on, but before we get into that, I want to get, I'm laughing because I'm going to make this up. Before we get into that, I want to go to a message from our sponsor. And our sponsor today is the Roots Historical Cultural Arts Foundation.
Attention jazz lovers, get ready for an unforgettable night at the Caprock Jazz Festival. Coming to the Helen DeWitt Jones Auditorium on July 13th, we're bringing you a spectacular lineup of world-class talent. Experience the soul-stirring sounds of renowned saxophonist Tom Braxton and powerful and charismatic voice of Rebecca Jade and the mesmerizing guitar mastery of Roberto Restuccia. Join us at the Texas Tech University Museum at the Helen DeWitt Jones Auditorium. Dinner starts at 5 p.m. The concert starts at 7. Get your tickets at Select a Seat or call 806-535-2475. Again, that's Select a Seat, Lubbock.com, or call 806-535-2475. See you there.
That jazz festival, the Caprock Jazz Festival, is coming up. It is this freaking Saturday. It is the 13th of July. It's going to be at the Helen DeWitt Jones Auditorium. I didn't put the details down because I thought I could remember Boreum. No, I thought I could remember all the details, and then all of a sudden, some of them slipped my mind, but they'll come back. Y'all know where it's at. It's over there on 4th Street in Indiana, right across the street from Covenant. That's where it's going to be at. That's going to be on July 13th. And it's going dinner. It's going to be a fabulous dinner. I think it's what they call heavy hors d'oeuvres is what they were served at the Christmas version of this concert. Heavy hors d'oeuvres, which is really good food, and you get a stellar jazz concert too. So check out the Caprock Jazz Festival, folks. That's this Saturday, July 13th. Dinner starts at 5. Concert starts at 7. Tickets run from $75 to $100, and you can get them at selectaseatlubbock.com. That's selectaseatlubbock.com. You can also look right down here in the show notes. Y'all know how we do. Yeah, so check that Caprock Jazz Festival. Another thing that you guys gotta catch, and get this, folks, it's the same day as the Caprock Jazz Festival, July the 13th. They are going to have the 100 Black Men of West Texas Kids Fishing Derby. I always have to say kids because when I attended last year, I saw a lot of adults fishing and taking in big hauls of fish. And I don't think they know that is not the purpose of this event. It's not, you know how to fish. You need to teach a kid how to fish. I love the way Reverend Hastings say. He said you got to teach a kid how to fish. Love that accent. You know what I'm saying? That's how my people sign. But anyway, that kids fishing derby, sponsored by 100 Black Men of West Texas, is happening Saturday, July 13th. May Simmons Park, MLK, and Canyon Lake Drive at 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Man, yes, it is an all-day fishing event. They stock the pond beforehand with thousands of huge foot-plus long catfish, and then stretch some nets across that first so the fish can't get out, so all the fish gonna be where you can get them. And then on the day of the event, man, hundreds of people out there lining the lake, mostly kids. Did y'all catch me when I said kids? Mostly kids. Bring adults, yes, we want you to come, but bring kids when you come, to all y'all grown folks. But it was a great time. Crack of dawn, you out there on the water, man. You want to get there kind of early so you can park and stuff too. But it's just a real good time. Me and some of the brothers from the 100 went out, what was that, Saturday morning, fellas, by 9 o'clock over there to the storage shed where we keep a lot of our stuff. And we got the nets out and unrolled them, man. We had 160-something foot long nets, you know what I'm saying? 2 of them. And matter of fact, 3 of them. And we had to inspect them, make sure they didn't have no holes in them. We counted all the fishing poles up and inspected them, made sure they was in good working order. And man, and then after that, we had a real good conversation. I say all that to say, these are some cool brothers, the 100 Black Men of West Texas, and they're putting on a spectacular event the same day as the Cap Rock Jazz Festival, just early in the morning. So you can get there early in the morning. What's that Gap Band song? Get on out to that fishing derby, y'all. The kids fishing derby. Get on out there because it is a really good time. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be tired because I got 2 things that day. I'm covering both events, I guess. Cap Rock Jazz and this right here. But I'll see y'all there. I'll be tired, but I will make it. Next thing I want to tell y'all about is the 2024 Black Business Expo, Stronger Together. It's a networking mixer, and it's going to be on August 2nd. 7 to 8:30 p.m. at East Lubbock Art House. Y'all heard me. East Lubbock Art House, August 2nd, 7 p.m. to 8:30. See, told you heard me. You knew you heard me. It's going to be at the East Lubbock Art House. That's what I like about Danielle and them over there. They be getting it. They always, man, they stay active in the queue. They are very inspirational. You know what I'm saying? Danielle Demetria East. I think that's her name. That's her whole name. That's the mixer, the networking mixer. Going to be at the East Lubbock Art House on the 2nd of August at 7 o'clock. Then on August 3rd from 12 to 4, they're going to have the Black Business Expo. See, that first one at East Lubbock Art House is the mixer. It's a mixer. I wonder if that means they're going to have adult beverages. Whenever you say a mixer, that's what I think about, adult beverages. Hopefully they will have some. I don't know. Anyway, that's the Black Business Expo. August 2nd and 3rd, East Lubbock Art House on the 2nd, starting at 7, and then the Lubbock Adult Activity Center on August 3rd from 12 to 4. They're going to be at the Lubbock Adult Activity Center. Get out there. I want to see y'all out there too. I'll be out there mixing and mingling. Y'all know I'm stiff and stanky, old and cranky. So if I be out there mixing and mingling, anybody can do it. You know what I'm saying? For real. Okay, moving on. 2024 Citywide Back to School Bash. I say the 2024. I love saying 4, not 2024. It's 2024 Citywide Back to School Bash. And it's a 2 school too. It's 2, the number 2, numero dos, back to school bash. With Texas Tech University, it's going to be Saturday, August the 3rd, 2 to 6 p.m., Lubbock Memorial Civic Center. Lubbock Memorial. I just realized too, like I did last week, man, that's going to be at the Civic Center, man. Y'all better get there on time and get some parking, because if you don't, you know everybody in Lubbock going to be at that mug. And that's a good thing, because even when everybody in Lubbock's at something, it still don't take but about 20 minutes to do it, to get up in there, get over there and get up in there. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the advantages of living here in the LBK, Lubbock, Texas, USA, is the proximity of everything. Lubbock is kind of spread out, and we like our space in Texas, especially West Texas, because we got so much space. But even though Lubbock is kind of spread out, the streets are broad and they pretty good. We got some potholes in a couple of spots. I know. Don't write into me. I know. I'm aware of them. But for the most part, the city streets are pretty good. So they broad. I wrote that in a poem one time. Broad avenues. I wish I could recall it. I can't. Maybe it'll come back to me later on in the show. But what we're talking about is the back to school bash. Get over there to the Civic Center. Oh, by the way, you can get a free city bus pass to attend this event if you want to and if you need to. The kids gonna win a backpack. No, they're gonna get a backpack. Let me see. Hold up. I'm missing out on telling y'all the point. Hold on, let me tap on this right here. Now, this is what to expect. It literally says it right there on the thing. What to expect. Immunizations. Okay. That's a whole nother show. Food vendors, fun and games, school supplies, backpacks, community resources, haircuts, and more. Get this, y'all. Everything is free. Everything is free. Immunizations is free. Although, you got to make those free. You got to give those away. Food vendors are free. The fun and games are free. The school supplies are free. The backpacks is free. The community resources is free. The haircuts is free and more. Everything is free. You can even get a free ride on City Bus up to the event. So you got no excuse not to go. If you need to go and if you want to go get that 2024 citywide back to school bash with Texas Tech University. Saturday, August 3rd. 2 o'clock to 6 p.m. at the Lubbock Memorial Civic Center. So that right there is on August 3rd. And then on August 31st, later that same month, at the end of the month, we got the Texas Banana Pudding Festival. Me and Silver Fox, lovely wife, went to that one last year, man. It's out there in Slayton. Y'all know where it's at. And that was a pretty good time, man. Walking around Slayton's little red brick downtown. They copying off us. I don't know who copying, but that's the style in West Texas, man. Them red brick roads. Follow the red brick road up in this mud, but go slow when you follow the red brick road because you might tear your load up if you don't slow it down. That's that Banana Pudding Festival, y'all. August 31st. And I think let me zoom in. I'm trying to zoom in. Oh, it's just, we know it's put on by the Slayton Bakery. I thought I had a time here, but it's from early in the morning to not so early in the morning. That's the time on that. That's what it say on the flyer, early in the morning to not so early in the morning. They don't really say that, but that's what it is. That's what it is, though. So get on out there and enjoy it. Right, we did. We went last year and it was pretty nice. I think y'all enjoyed it. If you like mixing with your neighbors and stuff like that, then you might enjoy it. Well, folks, that has been what's going on. So those are the things that's coming up. I tell you, Out and About is a section that we typically do on this show or used to do. And we kind of reformatting right now. But, excuse me, I guess if you want to talk about what happened while we was out and about, well, heck, just now, before I got on the mic, before I got in the camera's lens, I was just outside, man. I went over to Mount Gilead over there in Chapman Hill. And guess what I saw, man? They had a freaking event on Sunday at 6 o'clock. The Sunday Jam, I think they call it now. Real Lubbockites will remember the first Sunday Jam. Well, I think it was the first Sunday Jam on 88.1, the Sunday Jam. Anyway, they had a Sunday Jam, and it was really just a little mini refilling station, praise session, a music session to get you ready for the week. Now, they didn't tell me that's what it was, but, when I was over there, and I snapped a few pics. Y'all can see them, I guess. But when I was over there, that's the feeling I got. So that was at 6 o'clock. And they got a pastor over there. He's a fairly young, active pastor. You know what I'm saying? Got energetic is what he is. And they whole service, I met a dude, a brother named Q. I think he said his name was Q Johnson. Looked like he the music director over there. If I'm getting that title wrong, it's because, I didn't ask him what he was, but that's what he seemed to be functioning as. You know what I'm saying? And they was jamming. He was holding it down. The pastor was holding it down. It was tons of people up in there, man. For a church on a Sunday night. Now, I understand people go to church on Sunday morning, but this was a Sunday evening refilling station type of church service, and they had some pretty goddamn good old attendance. I'm pretty impressed. Mount Gilead. And if y'all recall, that's where I met Buddy. He's one of the musicians over there. I think he might be the lead musician or something. I'm not sure, but he's a very important part of the music team over there. And he the one invited me to come out and see this event. But also, I met him over a year ago now, and I did a whole article on that. So y'all can peep that out right yonder. But that's what I was out doing. And out and about. It was a real tight little session, man. You gotta give a shout out to Mount Gilead, because I don't even know, do other churches do stuff like that? Is that a thing? And if that was a thing, if other churches tried to do it, would they even have that kind of turnout and that kind of energy? Would it be that kind of event? I don't know. That seems pretty special. So on the out and about segment, I want to say shout out to Mount Gilead over there, Chapman Hill. I don't know, what is it, 20, I don't know, 20 something in Globe, something right off in there. Y'all know where it's at. I don't be looking at the streets sometimes. I just be rolling, navigating by landmarks and stuff. Landmarks and navigating by the spirit, you know what I'm saying? For real. I call that process navigating when you're out there in the community, moving and grooving, when you're out and about. When I'm out and about, I call it navigating. And I like to do that in a synchronistic way. Or maybe even you might say a synchromistic way, because I be navigating by the spirit, meaning all the signs and little nudges and inklings and stuff like that the spirit be giving to me when I be out with my camera and stuff. Man, that's the way I like to do that. Just go out. Sometimes don't even have a plan. Just go off in a certain area and, I don't know, see what you can see. Out and about, Mount Gilead, the Sunday Jam. They over there doing something special, seem like to me. Y'all better go over there and check them out. If you ain't got no church home, or if you want to change church homes, I don't know what your situation may be, but Mount Gilead might be the place to be. Yeah, another thing that I've been kind of mulling over, shifting gears a little bit here. I say shifting gears. That seemed like it was kind of abrupt. Might have been kind of abrupt. But really, I've been learning and thinking about and working on my mindset and my perspective, because your mindset and your perspective are hugely important. And I'm gonna give you a perfect example of what I mean. So I'm an introvert. People may or may not know this because I get out and mix and mingle. I be out and about, but I'm an introvert. Being around people, man, it takes a toll on me. In the Bible, there's a passage in there where it say Jesus was moving through the crowd and he felt somebody touched the hem of his gown and he felt power go out of him. And I'm not trying to, like Malcolm X say, I did not then and do not now liken myself to Jesus. I ain't trying to say I'm Jesus. I'm trying to say when he say he felt power go out of him, that's how it feel to me as an introvert being out mixing and mingling. I feel the power go out of me, literally. So I guess what I'm saying is this. At the same time that I'm an introvert and it drains me to be out and about among people, I also do this kind of work, and I enjoy doing this kind of work, and I'm not shy. I can get up and give a speech anywhere to anybody about anything I know anything about. I'm not shy. I'm an introvert. Those aren't the same thing. In fact, from my understanding, back in the Air Force, they taught us that an introvert was somebody, doesn't mean you're shy. It means you're somebody who gets your motivation and your energy from the inside. You generate your own motivation. You generate your own battery power, your own AC power. You know what I'm saying? A DC. An extrovert, on the other hand, is somebody that gets their energy from externally, from other people. They get their energy externally. They draw on the energy of people around them, focusing attention on them, and that powers them up. That's what an extrovert is. Now, the thing is, being an introvert, like I said, it takes that energy out of it. Literally, I feel my power draining when I'm out and about. And you can ask the lovely wife. She'll tell you, man, we got strict time limits sometimes. Like, it's time to go. However, I recently realized that instead of talking about mindset, right? Mindset and perspective. Instead of looking at it like, man, I'm getting drained and I'm out here and these things are taking my energy. What I do is I look at it from another perspective, and that is I'm also a daredevil. I like to, bit of an adrenaline junkie. I like to drive fast and shoot guns and stuff like that. So I like that adrenaline feeling. And that's what I realized. Here's my mindset and perspective. Instead of looking at interaction amongst the crowd or amongst the public as being something draining, perhaps I should just look at it like an adrenaline jolt, because it is anxiety. There is an adrenaline jolt with it. So don't look at it as a negative, look at it as a positive. Your mindset and your where you place your focus, how you think about things. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that it's like very important also to live in reality. I was talking to some cats the other day, and it was just, there's some of these cats, they believe in like all that DEI stuff, and, they on that tip. And one of the things that they believe, they seem to believe, because they always act like we still in slavery. They act like it's 1872. You know what I'm saying? The way they act, if you listen to their rhetoric and the things they say, it seems as though they feel like we're still in 1922. You know what I'm saying? They don't seem to recognize the true surroundings and the true racial atmosphere that we're in today. But I think part of it is because where they put their focus. People like that focus on TV, almost certainly, in videos and stuff like that. They focus and they put their focus on a party. And they forget about the principle. And when they put their focus on the party, they start melding into the party's propaganda, becoming one with it becoming one with them, and they start losing focus on what the world really is. This is not 1922. It's nowhere near it. Things are nowhere near as bad as they've previously been in this country. There's a few problems. One of the problems with race is we keep on talking about it so much. I remember distinctly when I was growing up over here off 4th and Frankfurt, racism seemed like it was fading away. Me and my friends, I had white friends, Mexican friends, Chinese friends, Vietnamese friends. I'm thinking of like actual people here. We was all cool and nobody cared about no race stuff. It wasn't even a thing. This was in 84, 85, 80, just say 82 to 88. Now, as we got older, there began to be a little racial animosity, but it wasn't animosity. It was just the normal friction that's going to be there because of races. But I still had friends all across the spectrum, and nobody made any reference to the fact that we had friends all across the spectrum. It wasn't a value judgment on you, and you wasn't doing no performative theater to say that you are inclusive. Nobody even talked it like that. But everybody still just hung out. One of the things you got to have, and I say this as a retired military man, on any team, you got to get into it, you got to brawl it out, and meld into a team. Matter of fact, in the Air Force, they called that forming, storming, norming, and performing. Some of y'all out there been in the Air Force, that might be outdated. I don't know if they call it that now, but when I was in, that's what it was called. Every team comes together, they form, and soon after they form, maybe not soon, but at some point after they form, they storm. They have internal conflict and conflagration. And the reason they have that is because roles are being decided and determined and assigned. And you, as a leader, you're looking at people's roles and things they could do and things they could feel. Roles they could feel. The team amongst itself is also filling out what role they gonna have on the team. Now, when you're doing that storming process, race is going to be a part of it. But if you let it happen and let the team work, let the process play out, you'll go from forming and then storming to, I don't want to hold that finger up, to norming. So you form the team is forming. Sometime after you form, you storm and determine roles and stuff like that. The next step after storming is, get it, norming. So you forming, you form, then you storm, and then you're norming, you set norms. Everybody's role becomes apparent. The way things are going to roll becomes apparent. And that is the beginning of becoming a team, but you got to get through that storming part. Well, by the 1980s in Lubbock, Texas, as far as I could tell from my perspective, we had gone through forming, storming, and norming as a population of different races. All the racial stuff had been formed, stormed, and was becoming normed. It was smoothing out, because the next step after you form a team, storm on a team, norm on a team, then guess what? You perform on the team. Forming, storming, norming, performing. Those are the four parts of the process of forming a team, basically. Well, in the United States, when I was a kid, it seemed like we went through all of those four parts when I was a kid, or at least we was on 3. We had already normed. We had formed, we got past the storm, and we was into norming, and we was about to start performing. But around that same time, that's when we got a whole different perspective that eventually became what we would call DEI. It started off with multiculturalism, all that stuff. It's an alternative, outside of the system philosophy that by design chips away at the legitimacy of the system. And the people that subscribe to that DEI and all that kind of stuff, I don't know, they may or may not really. I think many of them do, because I've heard them specifically say they want to dismantle the system. Well, when your whole mindset is dismantling the system, and your whole mindset is criticizing the system, that's critical race theory, critical theory in general. Critical theory means you find all of the flaws in your opponent's ideology, and you just pick on them and magnify them over and over again. That's what critical anything theory is, critical theory. It's picking on the flaws of your perceived enemy's ideology and ripping it apart by keeping on drawing attention to those negative parts to the exclusion of the positive parts. So in other words, it's a biased view. That's the point. So I talked to some people, and I noticed a lot of people talk like this is still 1862 or something. A lot of people talk like, they're going to leave the country because Donald Trump. Funny thing, I think they scared now. They think Donald Trump going to win. So that means they must have started a debate and must be feeling shaky. It's just funny. This is what I'm talking about, living in reality. If you scared now and you just now discovered that Joe Biden doesn't seem to have all his faculties, that's because you've been paying attention to people who haven't shown you the truth. Because the whole other side of the country been aware of that since 2019. So if you on the side and you didn't know Joe Biden was having some cognitive difficulties, somebody been lying to you. They've been lying by exclusion. They don't show you the stuff you need to see. They help harden your perspective by withholding the truth. And that's why I say, don't be giving all your powers of observation over to political parties. Always stand on your own 2 feet and look at the situation and determine from the best as best you can what the real situation is, by looking at both sides of the news, and by also don't let them tell you that you're not supposed to think on your own. You are supposed to think on your own. In fact, if you don't think on your own, that just molds you more quickly into whatever mindset. It don't matter if it's left or right or in between or whatever. There's these teams, y'all know them, the red and the blue and everything in between. They not really 2 different teams. They actually one team. They work together. That's why nothing ever actually changes in the country, except for the politics. That whatever people are talking about, that changes, but the situation don't improve for us. Do it? It gets steadily worse for us. Look at inflation right now. Why inflation like that in the White House line talking about this in the low single digits? Inflation is probably 20-something%. Check out John Williams at shadowstats.com. I think he's still up. Last time I checked, I haven't looked in a while, but he got the real numbers. The way the government keeps the real numbers. They just don't publish the real numbers. He knows where to find those real numbers, or he uses the old school formula to determine those numbers, like inflation and consumer price index and stuff like that. How much the dollar has been devalued, which that's all the same stuff, actually. Anyway, man, I don't know what to say about people that are running around acting like we still on the plantation or something. People saying they're going to lead the country again. They said that the first time, because if Trump get elected. If Trump get elected, y'all didn't go nowhere last time because you really don't believe it. Because let me tell you, if you really believed a dude like Hitler was coming to power, you would definitely get out of the country. The fact that you don't do it, even though you say you're going to do it, it means to me, you know it's not true. It's rhetoric. You just saying stuff to make it sound horrible. We going to be back in chains. They going to put us back in chains? No, they not. How they going to put us back in chains? Are we stupid enough to let them do that again? Even if they wanted to, how would they be able to do it? Oh, by the way, you still are in chains, and I am too. But it's chains invisible. I got a poem called Chains Invisible. Chains Invisible. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna try to link to it. I think I recorded that somewhere. I put a link in here. Chains invisible, the situation critical. I feel like saying that right now, man. I hate to do this to y'all, but stand by, please. Let me look up chains invisible. There you go. Chains. I'm going to read this right here on air. Chains invisible. I say on air like this TV. Chains invisible. This is a poem. I don't know when I wrote this, but I'm left. I ain't going to give you the run up to it. I ain't already told you about it. Chains invisible. Chains invisible. This how it go. It go chains invisible. Chains invisible. Chains invisible. The situation critical. They building an internet of things to make they cyber eyes physical. They want to reach through the matrix into the real from the spiritual realm. The way they keep tabs on all us. That way they can keep tabs on all us little lambs. You know who they be. Woe is me, I am what I am, and I thinks because I can. They know this too, and that's why they scan, track and trace us, and won't leave us be. Slaves proclaim they have nothing to hide, cause deep down inside they scared to be free from these chains invisible. Chains invisible. Woo! Hey, yo, I forgot how good that poem was. Man, I'm finna read that all over again so I can read it right. That ain't even the whole poem. That's just the first verse. Let me start from the top. It's like a remix. DJ, scratch that so I can go back to the top. I say chains invisible, chains invisible, chains invisible, chains invisible, the situation critical. They building an internet of things to make they cyberize physical. They want to reach through the matrix into the real from the spiritual realm. That way they can keep tabs on all us little lambs. You know who they be. Woe is me, I am what I am, and I thinks cause I can. They know this too, but that's why they scan, track and trace us, and won't leave us be. Slaves proclaim they have nothing to hide, cause deep down inside, they scared to be free. From these chains invisible, chains invisible, chains invisible. Web stretching around me, recording and transmitting, stalking through the clouds be. Robotic pterodactyls in stealth mode seeking, searching through the herd for those awake sleeping. I'm gonna run that back. Webs invisible, chains invisible, chains invisible. Web stretching around me, recording and transmitting, stalking through the clouds be. Robotic pterodactyls in stealth mode seeking, searching through the herd for those awake thinking. Skynet is now, but John Connor ain't even in the fight. They tricked Sarah to believing that abortion was a woman's right. She out there now wearing a ridiculous hat, protesting the so-called pay gap. Some system somewhere probably just heard me say that. They got the waveform on computer screens, better to display that. Terabyte, terraform, terror is an art form. Our minds are the canvas, but who is the artist? That's the question they don't want answered. Cause speech ain't free and we ain't either. We can pretend these ain't shackles just because we can't see them, but they still chains, invisible. Chains, invisible, chains, invincible, hobbling us, ordering our steps, scripting our thoughts on LED screens, high def, mind def, neutralizing beams. Coaxial worms slowly burrowing deep into our souls, making our humanness a dripping mess which drains slowly through the holes, while trumpets and soy boys blow lullabies, enticing us to doze. Sleep is death's cousin. I thought it was, but it wasn't. Midnight blue telescreens always buzzing. Tweeting and twerking got me tossing and turning, feeling sick and shook, selling my private data to anybody who want to look. Enough of these snapshots and our lives become talking books, and we're only too proud to display. We some preening peacocks mesmerized by trifles and shiny things, but most valuable things don't actually glitter. And if they give you something free, that means you ain't the customer, you just they nigga. The product they are buying and selling on their globalist plantation. They planning power and parenthood through multi-generations. Eugenics is their system. All of us is just serfs and peons praying for permission to live. But my life, these poems, and a good fight is all I got to give. So Molan Labe, if you don't speak Greek, the point might miss you. But if you got your eyes and ears on, then I know you see these chains invisible. Chains invisible. I don't know if I ever have read that. No, yeah, I think I did read that. I did put that down. But y'all, that's how I feel about that. If y'all like that, man, hit me up. If you didn't like it, hit me up too, man. Let's have a conversation about it. That's what we do. We all about mindset and perceptions. Changing our mindsets and perceptions in a positive manner, to look at things as they really are, so we won't be deceived. When people deceive you on purpose, they're enslaving you. That's why you're not supposed to lie. Yeah, think about it. If somebody tell you a lie and you believe that lie, and because you believe it, you do something, you go take a certain action, or you start doing certain things and following certain steps, living in a certain way because of what they done told you, that mean they done use words to siphon your energy off. They done use words to get you to do work they want you to do. That's slavery. That's spells too, by the way. That's what a magic spell is. When you say some words and you get people to behave in a certain way. Is that not the definition of a magic spell? So that's what I'm talking about, man. This propaganda is a magic spell. That's why, and both sides have propaganda, the left and the right. Our job and the thing that's going to help us the most as a country is if we all strive to see properly and discern what is actually going on. Because I guarantee you what's actually going on, it's not on either extreme. It ain't extreme right, it ain't extreme left. What's actually going on is probably something we haven't even thought about. In fact, that's why they get you to believe in these falsehoods, and they want you to look in these certain directions and compact you to the left and compact you to the right. That way you fighting phantoms that they want you to fight while they up here taking all your money, your property, your future, and everything else. That's what seems to be happening to me. So that's why I feel like it's just so short-sighted and pointless to keep talking about, like, to keep acting as though racism is the biggest thing that faces black people in this country. Because by focusing on that, which is not even the problem that they say it is, you focus on that, they doing all that over here. They taking everything that each one of us, regardless of race, color, or creed, they're taking our lives. They are extracting our wealth. They're extracting our health in a system that they know doesn't work. But they've learned how to enslave us through it. It's the same thing as being colonized. When people propagandize you, they colonize your mind. And both sides do it. If you're the type of person that think that there's millions of that cops are out hunting black men, you think there's tens of thousands of black men getting killed, unarmed, shot every year, the actual number ranges from 12 to 20. You can go to the Washington Post and look in their crime statistics database. They got every shooting, even some supposedly that the FBI don't have, with all the details. You can click on it. I just looked at it earlier today. When I looked at it, I put in the year 2015, black unarmed men shot by cops. And I think the number was it 21 or something like that? 24? On some years, it's as low as 12. One of them years because the database goes back to 2015 and go all the way up to 2024 so far. And 2015 was like 40, I think. Some years are like 20 black men, unarmed black men shot. Now, okay, those are too many. If those people were actually shot and they were actually innocent, then 20 or 40 is too many. And actually, the average is like 20, because I saw a lot of years in there where it was like 12. 12 unarmed black men being killed by police. See what I'm saying? You thought it was tens of thousands, hundreds, millions, dozens. You thought it was some ridiculous number because they're telling you there's cops are hunting black men, but they're not, because there's millions of police interactions every year. Millions. There's millions of times every year that the cops stop somebody or come in contact with somebody. Now, out of them millions of interactions, 12 to 20 or so black men get shot or killed by the cops every year. And they say they was unarmed. But when you read some of them stories, they unarmed because they was trying to run him over with a car. They unarmed because they was resisting arrest and reaching to their thing. He thought he had a weapon. He didn't know. Shot him. This is the kind of stuff that we talking about 20 or 30, 40 deaths a year out of millions of interactions. It's sad. It's bad. I don't want it to happen. But that don't sound anything like cops are hunting black men. Do it. If you don't look, go look for yourself. It's right there. It's right there. It's right there. That's what I'm talking about. Seeing clearly. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. The pain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. I feel like I want to float, but I don't know what I want to say. That's what I'm talking about, folks, man. Because I know things ain't this. Come on now. I think any honest person out there, you don't have to tell me. You don't have to say it out loud, but you know this is not no 1862. This ain't no 1923. When I was talking to some, inevitably, when I'm talking to these kind of people that act that way, that like we still in the olden days, they inevitably complain about stuff that happened in those days. They don't hardly ever come up with newer stuff because most of the real hardcore stuff happened in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. There's a few bad things that have happened, but everybody know it ain't like that no more. I've been coast to coast in this country. I've lived coast to coast, all in between. And I ain't never seen nothing like that. I'm 50. That's why I say I don't see how anybody could really believe that. I don't see how people, I think what happens is we have life so good today that we make up things to be upset about. That's what politics is. Politics is the art and science of making people upset and scared so they'll do what you say when it comes to votes and money. I don't like to be made upset and scared. I like to be able to sit back calmly and look at some facts and figures. And don't be afraid to use your internal judgment to understand what's going on, to help put things in context, especially if you are a person of a certain age. If you're 50, if you're 40, 30, 40, 50 on up, and you've lived a relatively fulfilled life, you've got a family, you've raised some kids, you've had some good jobs, you've been through some hard times or some good times, you've moved a couple of places, lived a little bit of here, a little bit over there. Guess what? If you've done any of those things and you're of sufficient age and ordinary intellectual abilities, guess what? God gave you wisdom. Wisdom comes through all those actions. Don't be afraid to trust your wisdom. I call it supermarket sense sometimes. Everybody can go to the supermarket and do some simple math and look at weights and measures and be like, nah, this ain't the best buy. This is the best buy. Everybody can do that. They got us scared to use our supermarket sense. Don't trust experts. That's called the rule by the experts. That's the whole system that they're trying to set up. We saw that during COVID. What is that called? That's called technocracy. They're setting up a technocracy around us, which is basically a technical plantation on which all people will be trapped and enslaved and locked down. I say locked down. All people gonna be locked down on this plantation. That's why I say, man, when you looking this way, it's all about race, or you're looking this way, it's all about gender, or you're looking this way, it's all about whatever. They love you. You'll do whatever they say, as long as they hit you on them themes that you obsessed with. And they done obsessed you with those themes. Those themes are built to play into our weaknesses. Any insecurities and weaknesses we have on the inside, them themes that they build, that they throw out there like hooks, they catch on certain weaknesses that we have. That's why you got to guard your perception and guard your discernment. And also know that, oh man, that's a trip. I've been up here running my mouth, y'all. I done ran my mouth so long that the camera battery done died. So I get that. I guess that right there is a sign. I was talking about navigating earlier, moving by signs, symbols, hints, and clues. I was flowing so long on that, the battery died. So that must mean it's time to cut it off. Anyway, just to summarize though, what I was saying, it's like we cannot allow ourselves to be misled and misguided by people who don't have our best interests at heart. No politician loves you. The stuff they say is meant to manipulate you and use you for the most part. I'm talking about national level. Here in Lubbock, I haven't really seen any politicians that I would say fit that bill. They play in their little local level politics, little local baseball. But I mean, as far as I know, and that ain't nothing in this, as far as that's concerned, I don't see anything nefarious going on here. I'm sure there are. I know there are, because when you get money and power, you automatically get nefarious deeds going on. I guarantee you, it's some nefarious stuff going on. But what I'm saying is, I don't see nothing, and I don't know nothing about nobody. Or, like, I think, who was that cat? Spike Dykes or something like that? Or no, Bart Ragor, Dykes Ragor Auto Group or whatever. It's stuff like that goes on. I don't know exactly what went on there. Some kind of financial stuff allegedly. But the point is, I'm not talking necessarily about our local politicians. I'm saying for y'all that get caught up on national level politics, I just feel like that's a diversion. And I feel like both teams are two sides of the same coin. It's the Harlem Globetrotters as Democrats, and the Republicans are just the Washington Generals. Y'all remember the Washington Generals? That was the farm team or the house team that always played against the Harlem Globetrotters. It was just a team of pretty good players, but they were designed to lose. They were loyal opposition. They'll never beat the Harlem Globetrotters. That's what the Republicans are. They're just a home farm team designed to look good losing. They are designed to look good losing against the globalist agenda, the progressive globalist agenda. We're moving inexorably in that direction. Like I say, I don't see too many indications of that with our politicians, but on the national stage, definitely so. Anyway, LBK. This has been the Focus LBK Show, episode 44, for the week of July 8th, 2024. Tomorrow, I hope y'all stayed dry yesterday, and tomorrow, Monday, I hope y'all have a great week. Hope y'all get back to work feeling refreshed and powerful and make it do what it do. Next time I see y'all, it'll be on the 13th, and that's going to be that fishing derby in the morning of July 13th. And it's going to be, my sinus is messing with me. It's going to be the Cap Rock Jazz Festival starting at about 5 p.m. on the 13th. I'll probably have some content from both of those events. Anyway, love it. Y'all take care. Y'all have a good week. And I want to say peace.